Hi Connie, it's Dave from Optimal Resume. It was a pleasure speaking with you this morning. This is a short video that summarizes kind of our discussions this morning, which primarily focused on the idea or the option of a university branded resume GPS portal. Obviously, as we discussed, the reason you want to consider this is that Optimal Resume can provide you with a link to a portal like this that only has students from the selected institution. And what's nice is that if you have, I know you said you all are putting together a new employer portal for the convenience of the employers. You know, if you want to avail them of this technology where they can search resumes and screen candidates, it's very easy for the school to put this functionality in a location that makes sense for the employer. You know, I also kind of showed you on our hub, which is at optimalresume.com/employers. True, an employer can log in there and can, you know, select the schools they want to recruit at, and that's nice for the employer who recruits at may recruit at a number of schools. The convenience of having a hub, but I think from the school's perspective, to the extent that you're trying to drive traffic to your current portal, putting this functionality there makes a lot of sense, and it's all about, you know, filtering the database of candidates that have opted in. And what's very nice for the employer is that, you know, they can basically, for any candidate that looks interesting, they can choose to basically, use the video interviewing, the video conferencing as I showed you, or interview these candidates. So I think it's knocking down some walls. It's making your students easily available, and it removes a lot of the cost and risk for the employer if this is in a place that's easy for them to access. I mean, I would ask you to consider what other options are behind your employer portal. You know, is it posting a job? Well, there's a chance with a job posting that they may or may not get applicants for that job. You know, things like that. I think with this, as I mentioned, if this becomes a decent sized database, it's very easy for them to come in, filter the database, and then do their initial screening, and that's really the idea. Right now you all are opted in on the hub, so employers currently can find students, but this is kind of the idea of what a university portal would look like, a university branded portal, and that's a lot what we talked about. But essentially it is to kind of switch perspectives to the hub. As I mentioned, this is an employer kind of logged in on the hub with a different candidate, but we talked about or reviewed, you know, the power of this, how easy it is with this system for an employer to create a screening interview, which is really nice, where they can go through and view a candidate's responses to questions that they create, which is nice. You can see here, this is our call earlier today. The employer can kind of go through their own screening questions. Very easy to do that. And the other option here that I mentioned is actually the video conferencing that's built right into the browser. And again, I'm going to have to pause here for a second because I'm using my camera right now, my webcam, for this movie. So one sec while I stop that so we can see here. And now you'll be able to see, Connie, that when the employer from the browser just hits allow, they begin the video conference. And so, hi there. So what again, the benefit of this is, you know, Skype is out there, but it's kind of a pain to organize a Skype interview. People have to install things. It's inconvenient. This makes it possible for the student, again, right through their Optimal Resume account, right at the level of the resume that they opted in, to do this kind of a browser-based flash video conference with the employer. And I would argue that, you know, this can save employers real dollars in screening candidates, and I think some of the benefits are obvious there. So that's kind of a review of what we talked about today. All of these options would be available on the university branded domain here, so you'd be giving employers these same capabilities here. And just let me know what you guys want to do if you want to look at this more. What we're trying to do is make employers aware of this, because I think, as I mentioned, as opposed to other major resume search platforms, this one is extremely low risk. Employers can see candidates before they make any investment. And then if you did want to make this free for employers, I can give you some price points about a sliding scale, about, you know, if you can give me an idea of the number of employers and how much access you'd want them to pay for free, I can give you some price quotes on that. So thanks, Connie. It was good talking to you today, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Bye-bye.